Hello, Bitcoin is still in a consolidation and I am currently tracking 5 different scenarios, but mainly 2 scenarios. So the first bullish scenario is counting this as a 1 WXY2 and then 1 ABC in an expanded flat or running flat, and then 3, 4, 5 and so on, look for higher prices. And the bearish scenario, the alternative for this is WX a, B, C into a Y and then moving down. The other scenarios, they all have very low probability. So I only have them as emergencies basically. So here 1 WXY2 and then 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 3 4 3 4 4 5 and so on, looking for higher prices. And also these, so 1 WXY2 and then 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 in a leading expanding diagonal 2 3 4 5, looking for higher prices. And this one, so a WXYB and then 1 2 3 4 5 and a wave C in an ending expanding diagonal. So the reason why I have all of these three, so this and this scenario as backups, is because of this expanding diagonal, because that's the lowest probability structure in Elliott waves basically. Besides, an expanding triangle is also extremely, but an expanding diagonal is very low probability. It's when everything else fails, resort to an expanding diagonal basically. So therefore this has a lower probability just because of this structure. And since this structure is also here, this scenario also has a low probability by default. And if we take a look at this, so the 1 WXY2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, it is perfectly fine except the time issue. So you can see here that if we have 1 here and then WXY here in a wave 2, because if we have 2 over here, you get 1, 2, 3. But where's your 4? There's no 4, so you need to have a WXY, and I have checked it, of course, you can't count it like that. But then you have this 1, 2, 3, 4 impulse wave up, alright, but then the time is an issue here, because if you take the fib time, you can see that wave 2 is over 14 fib time long, which is not what you want to see in a wave 2. So that is an issue. So therefore this has a lower probability just because of the time issue. So but time is never an invalidation, it's just a guideline. But I am very reluctant in trading things that have over 14 fib time. So yeah, do with it as you wish. But also the invalidations for this scenario is taking out this, because if you do, then this is very low probability, because then you need to count basically 1 A, B, C like that, and this hit a very unusual target for wave B. It is too long basically. So this is the invalidation I use for this 1 2 1 2 bullish scenario. And also if you hit this low probability wave 2 of a lower degree, that we hit already, and also here is the bigger the wave 2 if we need to move down there. So this basically messes it up for the bulls. So if we take a look at the WXY, this is perfectly viable except that this wave X is very long. So you can see that it's over 6 fib time, which is very uncommon, but wave B's and wave X's have more probability in stretching over 6 fib time than wave 2's. So therefore this has a higher probability of being a wave B or a wave X. And this scenario is looking for this wave B in a regular flat or an expanded flat. But if we move past this, then the expanded flat is invalidated. But here we are looking for a 3-way move WXY into wave A, and then a 3-way move down in wave B somewhere in this area, and afterwards a wave C, an impulse up in a wave B, and afterwards this whole structure is most likely finished, and then we move down. And the alternative to this, the impulse up, so 1 WXY2, 1 ABC, perfectly fine except that we hit this low probability wave 2 target, and the wave 2 here is over 5 fib times, so that lowers the probability. So it is a higher probability that this is a wave B or a wave X than it is a wave 2, but it's not an invalidation. That's very important to be aware of, because you can have weekends, and that kind of messes up the time sometimes. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. But this is currently the scenarios I am looking at, and also mind the invalidations for the diagonals. Even though they are extremely rare, they do happen, and it's important to invalidate them here at this invalidation. And also for this scenario, the invalidation is taking out this, because this is a wave 2, and you don't want to move past the origin of the move. So yeah, I hope it was helpful to you.
If you found this analysis helpful, feel free to subscribe. And you can also find Elliott Wave resources at mellantrading.com. I'll see you in the next one.